Hello, and welcome back to another chapter of Beast Fables, a weekly live show where we explore the lives of tiny animals in a massive forest. I'm I'm Brian, and I'm going to be your narrator for today's actual play.
Hello, narrator
I use
Brian.
he, him pronouns, and I'm the founder of doad. This is really going well, guys. This is a good start. Let's see if I can rein it back in. I'm the founder of Dungeons of Dime, a publishing imprint creating entry-level tabletop role-playing game content. I am joined today by Ver, Atlanta, and Fraser, who will save me from the bumbling introduction by instead introducing themselves. Ver, would you kick us off?
Hello, I'm Player. My name is Ver. I use they, them pronouns. I am an illustrator and comic artist. And in today's game, I will be playing as Balthazar of Blueberry Pond, a courageous toad knight. I'm sorry, Brian.
Yes. Hooray. Atlanta, carry us on.
Hello, I am Player 2. press continue. I am Atlanta. I use she, her pronouns. I am also a freelance illustrator type person, and I will be playing Pipistrelle, the moon messenger bat, our intrepid little nonsense baby.
Oh, nonsense baby is a good way to describe it.
And Fraser, please greet us.
Loading player 3. Hi, I am Fraser. My pronouns are he, him.
I hate everybody.
We love you.
You think you survived last session?
No! I'm a character artist and illustrator, and I am playing Lutzen, the disaster rat craft paw.
Oh, I forgot he's a disaster rat.
He's an absolute disaster rat.
It's drama.
Oh
There
gosh,
is
yeah, with
E
new
drama,
trauma.
Escandalo. We are playing in the setting of the Bristley Woods, a massive forest based in Scotland near Loch Katrine and the Loch Lomond near Glasgow. Our beasts have been on a wonderful adventure throughout the lands to find the stolen iron beetle that Lutzen, Fraser's character, had constructed. Who would like to remind us of the very exciting happenings from last episode?
Oh,
Well, have we had a Balthazar cunning roll to decide?
To be honest, there's no cunning in this episode, so it's whoever wants to go.
That is completely
for it.
fair. Ver went last week, so why don't I do it this week? If I can,
nice.
if I can remember how to. So we picked up last week at the beginning of the cliffhanger from the previous week, which was we have been tricked into wandering into a barn full of incredibly unfriendly beasts who all are wearing the same red bandana. They seem to be led by a lizard, I believe. And with a very large ferret, a frog with a crossbow, and knife rat, who only has one arm. So we've been cornered. Lutzen isn't actually there at the moment. He's sort of making his way around after having spoken to the dormouse, and fighting ensues. It's a very, I think most of the episode, if not all of it, was the fight in the barn, basically. So Balthazar is on the ground, Pipistrelle is up in the rafters, and Balthazar is, I think, single-pointedly fighting the ferret and the ferret and the lizard. The ferret and the lizard. The rat isn't in the fight yet, in the scuffle, and. I feel like most of the fight for Balthazar was just genuinely being so intimidating. The other beasts were like, "What is happening?" And I'm pretty sure at one point, he didn't eat the lizard, but he
No, he just kind of like spaghetti noodle
partially swallowed.
Yeah, and then had its legs sticking out of his mouth. I mean,
Yeah.
I was inspired by those photos of giant frogs with a bird sticking, the wings and legs of a bird or something sticking out of their mouths. I'm just whoa, look at them go.
and it was incredibly. Balthazar was just it was just incredibly fun to watch him basically just scare the absolute bejesus out of these other beasts. Like even the ferret, who is like 3 times bigger than Balthazar, if not bigger than that, was just like, I don't know what to do with this toad who's just kind of partially eaten my boss. And meanwhile, while that's happening, Pipistrel is up in the rafters trying to help Balthazar basically by trying to get rid of the frog with the crossbow, who's also up in the rafters. So she kind of flies up. She's going to try and knock the crossbow out of the frog's hands, which goes incredibly poorly because she didn't notice that Knife Rat is behind her and jumps from the rafters onto her back and pulls her down to the ground. It pulls her down to the ground out of the air. So, frog with crossbow is still up there. And now Pipistrel is on the ground being pinned down by down by a rat who again is much bigger than her. Meanwhile, Ludson is outside. He's peering through a little gap in the wood, I think. And he throws nuts and bolts onto the floor to kind of, was it to distract? I think it was to distract.
Like caltrops.
Yeah, to be like caltrops. But then eventually, when Pipistrel falls, realizes that he needs to join the fray. So he charges in, using the pitchfork that he has. He manages to get the other rat off of Pipistrel. And in pure, all you can really pure adrenaline, blind panic, whatever you want to call it, he pushes the rat off Pipistrel and basically runs him through with the pitchfork and pins him to the other wall. While all this fighting is ensuing, and Balthazar still has the lizard in his mouth, and I think eventually I think Balthazar spits the lizard out, and I think after they all see that the rat has been run through with the pitchfork, the fighting stops. There is a sort of break in combat, and Balthazar basically tells the other beasts, the red bandana beasts, that we are leaving. And so we all Balthazar leaves first, and Pip and Ludson follow. And I think after that it's all incredibly tiring, and it's very adrenaline comes down. We're all very scared. And poor Ludson has to now deal with the trauma of, having killed another beast. Definitely in a sort of life or death situation. But that is a lot to put on one poor little rat. I think that's everything major that happened last week. I don't know if there's anything else I've missed. If I've missed anything, please chime in because I've probably forgotten something.
Well, we had a chance to talk after the battle as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Balthazar kind of spoke with Ludson about...
Oh yeah, that's true.
Just the necessities of survival in this world and how it doesn't get easy. Or rather, no, it does get easy, but it's not okay that it gets easy. And that it's a beast world out there.
Yeah.
And Pipistrel was left to her own devices and had a cry as she was just trying to... just kind of realizing the intensity of the emotions and experiences that she's had.
Oh yeah, and actually I did say that this was the first time since she left Odo that Pip actually felt homesick.
Yeah.
Since joining the Moon Messengers. So we had a very it was a very intense battle episode followed by pensive moments of reflection, and it was actually very moving, the sort of latter half of last week's episode. If you didn't watch it, you should, because it was really good.
Okay, I feel like that kind of sums up everything. We ended with you kind of getting back onto the road and trying to pick up the sort of trail to Lalas Dock. I'm gonna zoom back in on the map so we can...
Yeah, because I got that critical success I rolled on my cunning check was that when we realized that the beetle moves a lot slower than us walking, and we could catch up with it in Lalas Dock very likely, because the track wasn't going towards Chipper's hideout place, but towards Lalas Dock, and we realized we would be able to catch up with it at that dock town, presumably.
Yeah. So that is the start of our session. You guys realize that if you hike as fast as you can all day, you could make it to Lalas Dock by night, and you might be hot on the heels of Chipper. It is a vaguely, I say vaguely, it's sort of, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, but it's mostly downhill towards Lalas Dock. And if you're able to catch a particularly high bit, or you climb up onto a tree, you can even see the speckles of small buildings and a burrow and a couple docks that mark this otherwise very small little village at the mouth of the river.
Ooh.
So I kind of want you to describe how you're hiking.
Ferocious intent.
Yeah, I feel like that. You know, we're all kind of post battle in a way, but like I think being so close to Chipper after how long has the beetle been missing by this point? A week and a half or longer, something like that.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen her. And I feel like there is a lot of like, we have to find her, we have to do it now type thing. So I think it's kind of like tired but very determined, like, no, we keep going, and that kind of in my perspective anyway. So I don't know how the rest of you feel.
Yeah, I think Balthazar, due to his training, is used to this kind of thing where it's like, oh, we have to go the extra mile. Well, buckle up and keep marching, soldier. Even though he's a knight, but it's the same idea.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So we're going to start by doing a small scene. We're going to start. I'm going to draw 3 fortunes. Deal.
3 fortunas.
3.
Brian, what is this? These
fortuna.
fortunes? The system you're using?
This is from Vice and Virtue. You can see the beautiful cards on the screen. Yes, Vice and Virtue is an expansion that is on Roll20. It is suitable for any role-playing system, including 5th edition and Dungeons & Dragons. It adds moral conversations, exciting scenarios, and fortune-telling into your games, and you can see how it's used. I am drawing 3 cards from the deck, and I'm going to consult a specific spread of fortunes for people to explore. Let me find it. Pablam, I have selected it, and now, on the 3 themes of these cards, I'm going to read fortunes to my players. So your first...
Sorry.
Okay.
It's really stuck in my head. But yes, please continue.
So, your first fortune is unbearable. Your second fortune is curdled. Your third fortune, made mockery of.
Oh no! I'm scared of getting embarrassed. I don't want
All
that
of which
one.
could apply to my singing.
No, your singing is wonderful. Never stop.
Curdled. Unfortunate. And
I feel like I'm gonna a curdled, like a toad can probably get curdled.
a curdled. Yeah. What is curdled like?
It, like milk
Who's-
can get curdled if it's.
Yeah. But who's getting curdled? What's getting curdled? Is the
that's
lake
true.
going to be full of milk? What is
Ugh.
like what?
How horrible. Yeah,
I don't like this game anymore.
Listen, man, you
That
made
is-
this. You brought this fortune.
That is an interesting point, actually. Yeah. Curdled.
Hmm.
Well,
I don't
because
know.
curdles is like something. I mean, I guess
Going
curdles-
off.
Curdle, yeah. Sorry, I could not pronounce curdled for a second.
Yeah, it's like
something that's
severed.
not rotting, but going off, and I feel that could be like a big. It's an interesting one in terms of it's probably not literal curdled.
Yeah. Something going
and then
sour.
what it might apply to. Yeah,
Oh,
going
something
sour.
going sour.
That's a very
like a
good way of
like a sour deal, like a ooh.
Yeah, or like
Ooh.
we are soured, in that like we are dissuaded or
Soured,
angry.
bitter, and jaded.
Yeah, that's Lutsen now.
Mm.
Oh, that is
A curdled rat.
a
A curdled rat on the edge.
Oh god, that sounds dangerous.
That is very dangerous.
While the word in the initial sounded incredibly unpleasant, there is a certain kind of intrigue that comes from
Yeah.
Curdled, because like who or what might be going south or sour.
I'm kind of leaning into that one more.
Yeah,
same,
me too.
Same. When Fraser, when you kind of introduced it as like something is soured, I really liked that. It definitely made me interested as well.
Yeah, let's go for that then, because we've all kind of settled on that. Unless it turns out to be like some sort of spoiled yogurt like factory that we're going into, then I don't want any part of it.
No,
but, you know, I'm gonna hold my reserve until then.
That is fine.
Brian-
I am happy with
Brian.
setting boundaries. Milk and dairy are off stream. It's gone.
Milk and dairy, not here.
They are non-canon to this story.
I like to imagine that Brian says this and like in his notes is like rapidly striking out
deleting
the
pages.
curdled milk factory out in the Lalas Dock.
Oh,
or what,
God.
it's like a toxic waste facility, but it's just like spoiled milk. You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, sorry. Anyway, moving on.
Big
I'm sorry
stretch.
to ruin this.
So we have chosen curdled. Yeah?
Yes,
Yep.
we have.
Alright. Fortune chosen. Curdled.
Fortune chosen. Curdled.
It doesn't need to be a Super Smash hero.
Choose your fortune, turtle.
Curdled joins the party.
Unbearable. Made a mockery of.
Oh dear.
Fortune locked in, curdled.
So, this music is slightly too happy. I'm going to change it to something a little bit more intense.
I have not been hearing music all this time. But I hear it now.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh. Ooh, I like
You
I like this.
are
too.
hiking as fast as you can. It is originally you had taken a break at noon, at what might be like noon, 1 o'clock, and had refreshed yourselves in the river. But now you are running as fast as you can, sustainably, sort of like a marathon, if that makes sense. I want everybody to describe what that kind of looks like for them. I have so many requests to steal these cards.
Hey, it wasn't me this time.
Wasn't me. Atlanta.
Atlanta. What are you doing? Okay, so okay. Train of thought, keeping it going.
I will describe how Balthazar goes.
This is gonna then affect what roll ability I'm gonna ask you to roll. So that's why I'm asking.
Yes, Balthazar will be very much harkening back to his training as a squire. He has all his big old pack and everything on his back, and he's going hop 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 hop. And in this kind of I think he's like, it's more like power walking than running necessarily, to have that energy for the long distance. Can we tag something for this?
You can try.
I can certainly try. So I would have like one of two suggestions, I guess. One being taking care of equipment, because I made sure that my padding is all nice and clean, but that also means that it would be soaked. So Balthazar would be like nice, I'm pretty sure amphibians can intake water through their skin. So he's ready to do this long distance.
Yeah.
He's staying very well hydrated and portioning his strengths through that very good use of his equipment. Otherwise, I would tag Undaunted as that he is not taken aback by the battle. He's kind of setting his sights on the next objective and not letting anything that happened keep him back. But yeah, either one of those I would like to tag to get a better chance at succeeding.
Okay, so I would like you to make a vigor roll for me. And I will let you roll a straight roll. Because it's summer, I would have given you disadvantage for the heat. But because you're tagging something, it's a straight roll instead.
Okay.
I love this music, by the way, Brian. Excellent choice.
There we
That is a
go.
critical success. You do better than expected. I'm going to say that you are leading this marathon hike.
Charge!
Yes,
It's a charge! At Lalas Dock!
Lutzen, how are you hiking? What are you doing to try and make this as fast as possible?
Oh my god. I mean, I think he's just trying his best. Like, he's got nothing. This is not his vibe, his style at all. I imagine he's like hooked up his backpack, is like tight as it'll go, so it's not flapping about, and he's just like trying to keep pace, but he's not used to running. His feet are flapping about. His tail's getting in between his like feet. He's just.
I feel like this is a vigor roll, and you have disadvantage because you've sold it to me that you wouldn't not have disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, guys, but it just is not.
He's
not athletic in the sense like at all. So
That's admirable that you.
Oh my god!
Wow,
So a critical success and a success.
So you succeed. I feel like you're inspired by Balthazar, and maybe Balthazar is going back and checking on you because you're both doing vigor as well. So maybe Balthazar, you're helping instruct. And like, you should carry it like this, and backpack goes like this, and if you use your hips, then lift from the knees. Yeah.
No, we might not have tails, but I would advise you to tuck it in your belt. Yes, go on.
He's running, hugging his tail like it's tucked up in the front. And he's just hugging it.
Yeah.
I love that. That is adorable.
And finally, Atlanta, Strel, what are you doing?
So I feel as though Pip is just. I think she's just gonna go full into her comfort zone. She's gonna be flying. She's not. She's not. She runs like a little raptor and a very slow one when she's on the floor because like she's obviously got these huge wings that kind of get in the way. So she has to like hold her little hands like underneath her chin basically. So she's like, you know what? Forget it. This is not working. She is tired, but again, this is I think comes with part of her skill of being a moon messenger. Sometimes you do just have to do the job, and so she's tapping into that skill. She is just going to she's now like after that battle, after having that little cry, after kind of having a little rest as well, sort of in the sort of comfort position of being upside down, she's reassured by Balthazar's like leading. She's reassured by seeing Balthazar go back to help Ludson, who seems to be struggling. She's like, right, we have something to do. This is important. She's just going to lean into like flying properly, and she'll be much more comfortable and hopefully expend a lot less energy than if she was trying to run on the ground with the other two.
Okay, this sounds like a willpower, and I'm going to say it's a straight roll.
Yay, thank you. Please. Yay!
Yay, look at us!
Success! Yeah! So you are sort of, because it's downhill, it's actually quite easy for you because you're just sort of like gliding and then occasionally have to like either flap or like kick off again. And you're kind of having to wheel back around because you would actually move a little bit faster than the other animals if you were flying just on your own. Yeah.
But she would be flying back around to make sure that like they're still there and they're still like okay, but she'll be keeping like, she could almost be like a beacon for Balthazar because she'll be able to see Lalas Dock.
Lead on, Moon Messenger, lead on!
Oh, yes!
But not too fast. Oh, my goodness.
Breathe,
so
breathe, Ludson,
there is a lot of enthusiasm, and you go for maybe an hour or two before the beating sun, the intense heat. It was cold to begin with, but now it is very, very warm and hot. The air is thick with moisture and like, not mist, but that humidity that's like boiling off of the top of the lock as you get closer. And you're also exerted from your fight and from hiking all day from Asmongrace to Bramble Fork. You guys need to stop. Or like like Balthazar, you start to develop a bit of a stitch in your side, and you're just like, oh, like a throbbing sensation. Lutzen, your feet are starting to feel raw from slapping on the hot stones of the path for so long. And Pipistrel, I think actually you're not too tired, but because you've been like flying down slope, but you recognize the others are starting to flag a little bit. You know, it's still a fair ways to Lalas Dock yet.
Definitely, yeah.
Wow, with 2 successes and a crit?
I mean, like, you're doing as well as you can, but it's still like 10 hours away on foot. It doesn't make the distance shorter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
So you would have needed a rest, whatever happened. But
probably gained a
I
bunch.
see.
Yeah. So
Nice.
you guys need to rest. What are you gonna? This is part of that 10 hours, if that makes sense. So what are you guys doing to like rest, recuperate, eat? What's the vibe here?
Balthazar, I think, will, because this is very much like we're on a campaign. Our objective is clear. The enemy isn't far. He would just be like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah," and like start like rolling out kind of whatever they have for rest to slump down, get some cooking going, and make sure that we have a hearty meal so we have our energy up. Very, very like militant, but very spirited, because I think he's like, this is kind of harkening back to his experiences as a squire. Because I can't say as a knight, because he was knighted like right before we started the game. But very much his experiences as a squire and kind of campaigns that he would have been at, protecting Blueberry Pond and going out and about. So he's kind of like not like high spirited, like this is fun, but mostly just like we're doing this.
Yes, you're determined.
Yeah.
Determined, yes.
You are filled with determination.
Yes.
I wonder what that's from. So, Balthazar, you're cooking. I would like you to make a vigor roll for me for the routine of like putting a meal together, and tell me what foodstuffs you are cooking.
Yes. He will be using his provisions for a long journey and slices of dried apple to give us a little sugar boost.
Nice.
So he's kind of putting together a he's gonna use some water to kind of probably like make a kind of oatmealish thing with those grains that we have for a long journey. And those slices of dried apple, he's gonna actually chop them up to so there's just like these kind of little nuggets of chewy apple.
Yeah.
So it's easily
porridge.
digestible. Yeah, so it's like easily digestible, nice boost of sugar. And he's gonna serve everybody in their dedicated little pottery things that he has.
I think
Now,
seeing Balthazar.
You have been eating from these provisions for the past few days. I'm going to say doing this will use up your dried apples and your provisions for a long journey, because you have now. This is the end of your long journey.
I
Okay.
have taken them off.
I was gonna say, I think let's probably add a few of he's got the sycamore sap baked seeds, the kind of like sweet baked seeds. We'd maybe like scatter a few in there as well, just for some more, and we'd offer it to everyone else's.
Oh,
Just for a bit more seeds have kind of got like good fats and good energy in them, so
good protein.
protein.
Yeah. You can either do it for flavor, for just like a little scatter, or you could use them up for potentially a benefit. Like, I'm fine with it being just like story flavor, but if you want to
Yeah, we'll
use
just
them
add a
as
bit.
well, you can.
Just add a bit for flavor just now, because I think with Watson, Balthazar using up the majority of the rest of that.
Yeah. Okay, so you scatter some seeds in on top, and it's very Instagram friendly. Okay, so that is a vigor roll at advantage for me, Balthazar.
Okay. Glance. I'll take that 7, please.
That is success. You do as well as you can. So I'm gonna say you going back to your night days. You wash your hands. You scrub the the breastplate that you cook in, because it's sort of thing you put over the fire with water from the river. You go to a nearby hollow, because you don't have any cooking equipment. You just got like the breastplate, which is sort of like very round, and so it always doubles up as like a utensil.
I have a mess kit and everything.
Oh, do you?
Is
I
that
didn't
not
know.
cooking stuff?
Hang on, let me check. I mean, if you've got a mess kit, then yeah, that's cooking stuff. Yeah, you've got like I'm gonna say it's like a pot that has like, it folds out into all the different things you need. Yes, you've got a pot.
Yeah,
but like,
I'm like, I want to be like, like Sam Gamgee.
yeah.
Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, I want to be Samwise here with my little pot.
So you wash your hands, you wash the utensils, you get fresh water, you boil it down, you put the oats in, you use the apple chunks. That's your cooking that away. Lutzen and Pipistrel, what are you doing? While you've got this rest period to kind of catch your breath and rebuild your stamina.
I think Pip will be sitting up in a on a branch or like perched a little bit. She's resting, but she is keeping an eye on the general surroundings. Being alert as she usually is, but she's just kind of keeping an eye out just to see if, keeping an eye out for smoke potentially from Lalas Dock. Maybe it's the beetle or nearby or whatever. Like she's just she's resting, but she's being a sentry, being a little lookout as well.
Vigilant.
Uh-huh.
I want you to make a vigor roll for me. This is sort of like routine. It's or cunning, whichever one you want, because cunning is being aware of your surroundings.
Can I tag my orientate? Because she's using Moon Messenger skills, but she's also she is taking a lay of the land while she's up here because she's looking towards Lalas Dock, looking at the sun, kind of keeping an eye on our positioning, etc.
I'd say this role is more to spot things around you rather than to find your way. Because that's what you said it was going to be. So I say orientate wouldn't help here.
Okay, well in that case, then I'll do a straight cunning roll then, if that's okay, because she is just observing.
Yeah.
Oh.
3.
A bug flies into my eye.
Pip, would you like me to? I will use my auto other as success, so I don't forget about it, because I think it's quite important in case we get got. For Pip to succeed at this check.
Thank you.
So here is.
Say if there's anything that Pip might not have, caught, Balthy will be the one who might hear something and be like, Pip, will you look over there? And
Hang on, I just want to cross it out, but I crossed out Pipistrel's one instead of yours.
Oh no, my question.
So I'm going to say this is the complication and then the auto other. This is how it plays out. Is Pipistrel, you see in the distance a shape flying through the sky and a flash of color, and you realize, oh wait, hang on, that's a Noon Messenger. They're flying parallel to Lockatrin from east to west. So as if they were flying from Bullock Bay, Bramble Dam, over maybe towards say Fallowfields, that sort of trajectory. Hang on, I'm just going to click on the map so you can see. So sort of
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hang on. I will use the snap to center this. They're flying this direction, if that makes sense.
Ah, yeah, okay. Okay.
Or more like this. So it's sort of like they're flying not parallel.
Yeah, it's like the displacement kind of just across the majority of the.
Yeah.
Just straight past A to B.
You notice them and you feel an instant curiosity to go and say hello. That would have been the complication. And then Balthazar's like, Pipistrel, the porridge is almost ready. We shall have a feast and then quest on. Something like that.
Interesting. Okay.
Pip ignores this and goes anyway.
No, okay. I don't think she's going to, but I think that's like a Pipistrel will remember that kind of energy, bird, because I think she's pretty good at directions. Pip just sort of naturally being a bat, being up high, etc., being a messenger. So she knows roughly the area where Chipper's sort of hideout is. So kind of seeing a bird kind of going in that direction, she's like, maybe not, but maybe. So she's gonna come down and eat, but I think she'll kind of relay that she did just see a bird heading towards where we were told that Chipper would be anyway. But she wants to eat first because she's hungry.
So Balthazar would say, well, we mustn't lose track of our objective. For now, we're going to Lalas Dock, but we know where Chipper's hideout is. If she evades us, then we'll know where to corner her.
Pip nods in agreement and says, you're right, Balthazar. We mustn't get off track. We're so close now. Because I think she wants to fight Chipper. She hates Chipper.
Okay, so you leave the messenger. It flies by. Lutzen, are you doing anything in this time?
I have been thinking.
I'd say this is maybe a half-hour period. It's like cooking, eating really quickly, and then moving on.
Yeah, I think. I mean, Lutzen will be absolutely exhausted, but I imagine he's probably still. I think he's probably looking around, scavenging, seeing what he can find. Whether it's a few berries and things, just getting a little bit of firewood or anything, just searching the nearby area just for stuff to help them along the way.
Smart.
I want you to make a
gonna
cunning
stock
roll.
them up.
Cunning is being aware of your surroundings and using them to your
Yeah.
advantage.
Sure thing. Can I tag my scavenging for my apprentice engineer?
Yes. I ask you, what are you looking for? You're trying. I'd say to scavenge, you have to have a thing in mind. So,
Okay.
what do you want to look for? What sort of thing are you like? I need this, and I need it now.
Oh, I did not mean to.
That critical success
that?
does not count because you had not stated your intent.
Oh no, I didn't even press a button. I didn't even press a button. I don't even know what happened.
Why would you take this away from
Oh my god, what am I trying to find?
I don't want to get rid of the old illustration, so I'm making like a new map for us to draw on.
That's fair. There. Just berries and like just little scavenging for food. I
So
guess.
food. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I will let you roll with advantage to look specifically for berries and food.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the stuff that I've like lost along the way, but
A wrench.
I would like to find a wrench.
You could look for a
No.
conker.
Are you gonna? You can roll on your character sheet. Remember,
Like a what?
you can roll on your character sheet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at my stuff.
Oh,
I
okay.
have. Beans.
You have advantage.
3. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Haha. Oh, great.
Aww.
I'm gonna say that you are gone longer. Like in a very Lutzen way, you lose track of time, and you come back about an hour later.
Oh no. Oh no.
God.
Pipistrel and Lutzen have already finished their food, and I'm gonna say are like about to go looking for you because they're like, he was about to get back. He was
Yeah,
he
where's
was
he
only got
gone?
like he'll be here, and you come back and you are covered in blackberry juice, and you have got like an armful of blackberries, small and tart from a very kind of dry, sheltered bush that was nestled between like two big rocks, and you are like gloriously sticky.
Ew.
Sticky.
Okay.
These might not necessarily keep, but you could eat them now.
I suppose.
I think he'll just kind of
Or
like
try
when
to
he
do
comes back,
something with them.
Oh, I know what I want to do. Could I
Ooh.
cook them down like as Lutzen's kind of sitting eating, cook them down into like a really, really sticky reduced jam and put them in like a wee container.
Ooh.
Because I imagine
That-
Lutzen's got a few like odds and ends in his bag that he could kind of keep it within something.
That will take time. If you want to cook it down, that'll take maybe half an hour, an hour.
I think Balthazar would be very much like, hop up! We have to go! Lutzen, you were already gone for so long!
I'm sorry, I lost track of time, but I have an idea. Something a bit sticky and a bit. It might be able to help us.
Oh, Lutzen, but we're making such good time. We've been hiking for long enough, and then you got lost for so long, and
I know. I'm sorry. It's okay. It doesn't matter. We'll do it later. It's fine.
Balthazar, you are feeling... And you check yourself, you check these thoughts, because I feel like Balthazar is someone who's very in tune with what they think and feel, right?
yeah.
You feel more angry, like frustrated, not angry at Lutzen, but just like frustrated and annoyed that you're late, that you're not at
Yeah.
Lalas Dock. You need to be moving half an hour ago. You need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Aw.
He will say, if we don't capitalize on this time that we have left, Chipper might get away. We really have no time to lose. Come on!
Okay. Yes. And he'll just kind of slurp up the food and just like be ready to go.
Oh.
I'm going to say that you guys are able to eat the berries, and Lutzen, you're able to take a quick wash in the river to get the juices off of you.
Fair.
Everyone increases their vigor. Hang on, so I'm going to say this counts as a short rest, So you can restore 1 die back to its base. So if you've got like a die that's a couple steps down, you can put it back to its base, and you can increase your vigor by 1 step. That can go above your maximum.
Oh, so it goes above 1?
Yes, it can go above your maximum.
Oh, that's exciting! Oh, yay!
So if your maximum is a D8, it could go up to a D10 because you've had a very hearty meal.
I've gone from a D6 to a D8. I love it.
Me too. Yee. We're strong boys.
It's strong. Not as strong as Balthazar, obviously, but you know.
Balthazar has a D8 by default. So
oh yeah.
Ooh, up to D10 then.
Personable. Yeah, he has higher willpower than he does a.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he's got such high willpower. Yeah. I feel like Pip is like very heartened from this meal and like, you know, quick sticky berries for yummy sugar boost. So she wasn't even that tired when they stopped. So like she's like raring to go and is very excited and is in the air and like
let's go. So you start hiking again. I want everyone to make vigor rolls again to see how well they are able to keep up pace for the next few hours.
Okay. Oh, hooray! That was a success.
And another.
Oof. We can't tag anything for this one.
No, I'm going to say it's a straight roll. You don't have disadvantage like you did before.
Oh
no!
Wait, did I roll the right dice? Yes, I did. Okay.
Yes. So you are hiking, and Balthazar, you are getting hotter and hotter. Like the sun is really, it's just the heat is really stifling. You are feeling a little overwhelmed by it all. And I don't know if toads can get flushed, but you feel flushed. If that makes sense.
What does that mean?
Like when you're all red in the cheeks and like hot from running a lot. That's flushed.
Yeah,
but I don't know if toads can get flushed or if they sweat. I don't know.
Well, they don't sweat, but he would feel probably just kind of like maybe dizzy.
Oh,
yeah, dizzy is the right word. And you, how would you play that off?
I think that he is pushing himself extra hard to make up for the time that they were like waiting for Lutzen. And he's just a little too like overzealous. And is trying to put on like a he's once again kind of like leading and is trying to put on more a faster pace. But just because of the heat, he just pushes himself too fast, and he's kind of getting like a little bit of a heat stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
I want Lutzen and Pipistrel just to make a cunning roll for me, just a straight cunning roll.
Okay. Oh yes.
Okay, so if Lutzen didn't notice, Pipistrel definitely would have noticed. You noticed that Balthazar is getting just a touch delirious.
Oh no. Okay.
Maybe like you see Balthazar sway at one point and then steady themselves on like a fallen branch and then sort of like hike up twice as fast.
Oh, okay. I think because Pip will be doing the thing where like she's flying ahead, checking they're kind of still on, you know, going in the right direction, and then sort of circling back, making sure everybody's okay. I think if she sees this, I think she wouldn't land yet, but she would call to Balthazar first and just say, "Balthy, are you all right? You don't look very well."
Oh, I'm fine. This isn't the worst of the hikes we've had back in Blueberry Pond. This is nothing like it. This is like a regular squire drill. Nothing to worry about.
I don't think Pip is buying it. I think she might, because like toads have that kind of like they're not, you know, slimy, but you know Balthazar is happiest when he's like damp.
Balthazar normally looks damp, but Balthazar right now looks slimy.
Yeah, he looks slimy right now. So Pip is like,
well, no, he doesn't. Toads don't sweat. He would look very dry. Like,
well, yeah. No, but this is my point. Like, it's not sweat. It's like normally you've got like that wet dew look from your soaked clothes, is what I mean. But now it's sort of like gummy from like road dust and running and stuff.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So like it is kind of like it's like he's. wouldn't even necessarily say slimy. Then he's more just like he's slightly congealing. Yeah, dusty and congealing in the sun. So, like, but I think what Pip would do instead of like stopping them, because I think she's aware that if they stop, like they might lose Chipper. But also, she's worried about Balthazar, so she's gonna like go. She's gonna like fly down to Ludson and sort of just quickly say to him, "It's like, can you just help him along a little bit?" Like, she's gonna ask Ludson basically to kind of support him a little bit, so like she can, so like she will sort of take over the lead, as it were, but just in a directional sense, just to make sure they're going in the right direction, and hope that because Ludson is not suffering with the heat as much as Balthazar is right now, that like he will be able to keep them on track if she kind of acts as like a point of reference.
I think Lutzen will then try and like kind of call out to Balthazar and kind of feign or kind of fake a little bit and just be like, Balthazar, could we slow down just a tiny pace, just a little bit more? The sun's kind of getting to me a little bit, and we'll just kind of still be going at a fairly good pace, but just slow it down by like a little bit to like
that's
have
a
Balthazar
really
keep
good way
pace.
that's a really good way to get him to
He'll be like, oh, yes, of
it
course.
preserves like the drive and the ego a little bit.
It doesn't take away Balthazar's agency. It's just like, as his friends, we're aware that like he will be suffering in the sun a lot worse than we are.
But also Watson does just genuinely want to slow down a bit.
Yeah,
But he's also like, oh, Balthazar, could you please keep up with me? I'm not feeling too good.
So I think it is maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. You've slowed the pace a little bit. You're halfway there to Lalas Dock. You are passing, like, you've passed the entry point of this second river that would lead back to Brambledam. You're now at this sort of like midpoint here where this lone tree is on the map, so to speak. What?
Sorry, could you ping it again? Because my character sheet was covering the map.
I've drawn a little X.
Oh, thank you. Okay, there we go. Sorry, carry on. Oh my god.
So yeah, it's here.
It's here.
So you are halfway to Lalas Dock, and Balthazar, you notice something out of the corner of your eye. Are we all just drawing X's on top of X's?
No, I just wish you could change the color if you select it.
Drama.
If you highlight it and then change color, just because the yellow and blue stand out a bit better.
Sorry, I just drew over it with green.
Balthazar, could you make a cunning roll, awareness of surroundings, for me?
You know I can't.
Oh no, I don't even know.
That is a complication you better manage to pull off. Balthazar, you're out of the corner of your eyes, you're running by the river. I'm going to say that you're running behind Lutzen so that Lutzen can set the speed, if that makes sense. And you pause and stop for half a second. You think you see something on the river. And you glance at it, and you kind of peer, and there's nothing. There was movement. Something was there, and now it's gone.
Balthazar kind of like blinks a few times, because I think he is dizzy. He doesn't want anyone else to figure out that he's feeling dizzy. But he kind of blinks, and I'll say, playing true to his flaw of being being stubborn. I think he will decide that it must be his imagination, that the glare from the river might be or it might be the sun glaring off the river, and that he's kind of too light sensitive right now. And I think he's gonna shrug it off because he doesn't want to stop to investigate. He's really wanting to push himself to get to Lalas Dock.
Yeah. Okay, I want you guys to make vigor rolls again for this third leg of the journey. And you have advantage because you have a good pace set by Lutzen, and you had a hearty meal. I feel like you are... The dock is on the horizon now. You can all see the small buildings constantly. So you are heartened, so it's all at advantage.
Okay.
Vigor, you said, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Oh, no!
Okay.
Ooh. So we had
I need to roll
a success.
I need to roll a second time. I forgot. There we go. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so we had a success from Pipistrel, a complication from Lutzen, and a success from our toad boy. Balthazar.
Balthazar.
So I think, Lutzen, you don't, like... you kind of like, you know when you're walking along and you kind of misplace your foot a little bit, and it kind of rolls and it's painful, but it's not, like, actually, like, injured. You sort of roll your ankle a little bit as you're running down the road, and as someone who's not really had to run cross-country before, for any reason in your line of work, this is all new to you. You don't have good form. You kind of roll your ankle a little bit. You have to pause and let it just sort of like and stretch it out. Where do you choose to take this pause? You have to take like a 15-minute break just to stretch and relax this.
I don't know. Probably closer to the dock, I imagine. Or do you mean like at the side of the road or on the like?
Yeah, like on the road, say by the river, under a tree. Like, where do you think you'd want to take this break?
Just well, there's not really many trees. Just at the side of the road, probably. Just sitting on a wee rock and just kind of like rolling his ankle a bit, just to like you know stretch it out and yeah.
So you pause, you're stretching your ankle, kind of pushing out, kind of, and like you do some other stretches for your hamstrings as well. I think maybe Balthazar would know some good stretches.
Yeah, I was gonna say that he would probably be kind of near Lutzen and yeah, just kind of instructing him on what stretches to do and or like even if Lutzen is like sitting, he'd kind of take his little leg paw and be kind of, you know, gently just kind of stretching it where he can, and his hands just like kind of like, don't worry, we're not very far now, but we don't want you twisting an ankle. And secretly he's happy that we're taking a break because he's got really dizzy.
Oh no.
Lutzen, could you make a cunning roll for me? For noticing your surroundings.
Can I tag my eye for detail in my journeyman engineer?
Sure. Yeah, I'll let you have advantage.
Thank you. Is it cunning, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a success.
Complication and a success. We'll go with success. You notice something that you hadn't been looking for. You're kind of looking around as Balthazar does some like stretches on your leg. And this is like initially when you first rolled your ankle as well. And you notice that Balthazar's hands are hot.
Oh.
Very hot.
Oh, okay.
Now you think, oh, you've just been running, so of course everyone's a bit worked up, but like they are really warm.
Oh no.
I think he'll point it out as he's kind of like massaging his feet. It's like, oh, sorry, your hands are awful warm. Is everything okay?
Well, am I burning you?
No, not quite. I'm just concerned. I didn't think toads were meant to be warm necessarily.
Well, no, we are cold-blooded. So, we usually are the same temperature as the world around us. It is very hot. That's probably why my hands are hot.
I think you might be burning up a bit, Balthy. And he's gonna put like a wee paw in Balthazar's like top of his head, and just like try and feel like is the rest of him as equally toasty.
Oh no.
I'm probably feeling that
all over.
Yeah.
His skin
do we
is
have
hot to
like wee
touch.
water skins or like little things of water, right? Listen, we'll kind of just offer his up to Balthy and say, I think you maybe need to drink a bit of water or like re-soak your suit or something.
I suppose I could.
Like
Are
you
you
said.
sure you want to use your? I could just take a dip in the river.
Well, I think that's maybe best. You know, just as you just said, you know, we don't want it getting any worse. Better take care of ourselves just now.
Yes, you are right. You are.
I'll keep doing this.
Learning from the best. Yes, sir.
Go and have a dunk.
Balthazar will get up and go to the river.
So there are two like separate events happening. So like as you go towards the river, Lutzen, you're sort of like massaging like your leg and your foot, and you kind of realize that your hand and your ankle feel a little bit numb. Which is weird. And I'm gonna you're having a conversation with Pipistrel. What does that look like?
Me and Pip are having a conversation.
Yeah.
I think he'll just be voicing his concerns about Balthazar. It's like, yeah, when he was helping me, I noticed his little hands were a bit warm, and he seemed quite warm all over. I'm not too sure. Oh, and he'll kind of notice his ankle going a bit funny. As he's kind of like rotating it and like twinging it.
What is happening? Pip is
Yeah.
like.
I bet it's my toxins. I bet Brian is using my
Oh no!
dumb poison skin.
I think it would take you a couple minutes, but you're smart enough to figure that out. You've had like a little dose of like toxin on your hands, but you don't know what it means. And the numbness fades after like a minute or two. It's only a small contact. Balthazar, you walk over to the edge of the river, and tell me what's going through Balthazar's. I said Lutzen, sorry, I meant Balthazar. Balthazar, you walk to the edge of the river. Tell me what is going through the toad's mind.
I think Balthazar, as he's walking to the river, he's kind of doing that thing where he's like slapping his cheeks a little bit, like, to kind of get like, oh, focus. And he's thinking that, I think his thoughts are that like this area is quite different to the areas around like Blueberry Pond, which I think are more forested and shady. He's not usually this much out in the sun, and I think he's mostly just kind of like low-key disappointed that it's getting to him so badly, and he doesn't want to let his friends down, because I think he feel like, how Lutzen kind of took a little longer during that break. Balthazar feels like, he needs to like make up for that, like he needs to as in not Lutzen, that Balthazar should pick up the pace so we're faster, so we keep going, because he has to, like, he has this feeling of like, I have to I have to be like strong and resilient, because I guess he just has that like feeling of responsibility.
As the responsibility kind of weighs down on you, you start to like, you dip your hands in the river, you kind of wash your face, you have a really strong dizzy spell, and you sort of catch yourself on a stone in the water and kind of pitch forward a little bit, and that kind of soaks the half of you. And as like the water settles and stops rippling, you see in the river's reflection a lily pad boat floating past on the water. And I want you to make a willpower roll to see how you want to interact with this.
Okay.
To see how your emotional control of yourself, to see how much agency you have in this scene.
Can I tag anything?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Well, I guess I'm not sure what I could tag, because he has a compassionate demeanor. Could I kind of tag for that to, where he can kind of feel for whoever this might be and relate that to himself, if that makes sense?
I want you to make a roll with advantage. In fact, actually, no. I'm going to say that's perfect. I'm just going to say this succeeds. You don't look up at the boat. The reflection clarifies. You see it as a toad funeral barge sailing down to the Blackwater.
Oh, yeah.
And its low rim bears the body laid out as if for one final time, the body of your old mentor, Lavinia.
What?
Stop it.
No.
What?
Look up, slowly, coming to terms with your emotions. The boat isn't there.
Oh.
You realize that maybe you're not feeling great.
I think as he's standing in the water, because Lavinia was like, I don't know if Lavinia's body was left.
No, and this was months
After-
ago.
Yeah. But I think he kind of looks at the water, and I just imagine after all that, there's just this stillness, even in the river itself. You know how sometimes a river can achieve that mirror image despite the running water.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this stillness and just the sound of like summer insects around him, and a gentle splash around his sides as the water
Drips off of you.
kind of washes up. Well, it washes up against him a little bit, him being kind of that block in the water.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I think he just kind of says, I suppose I haven't learned everything I should have yet. I was hesitating for you to come back and remind me. And I think he kind of looks at his probably like calloused and slightly like his hands kind of having that like calloused like not boils, but you know that like skin that's cracking from overworking yourself. And he kind of soaks his hands, and it keeps the water like bold in his hands, like you'd have your hands like a bowl for water, and clear. And he kind of looks at his damaged hands and says, I suppose I've been pushing myself, and you never did like that. Said I was a stubborn kind. I suppose I have to take care of myself to take care of the others as well. I'm sorry you had to come back from the Blackwater to remind me of lessons I should have learned a long time ago. No, it's not easy. I was rushed into this. To be a knight is a great responsibility. And I need to keep that responsibility to others. But you're right, I'll look after myself. Thank you. As always.
You feel a sense of connection with yourself and meditation. You're reflecting, you're thinking, and you realize that subconsciously you've been putting it off, but there is a deep throbbing in your side under your armor.
Maybe it's the... Yeah, he's gonna go to the shore, and start kind of peeling off his armor, and I bet it's that wound that the lizard gave me.
Yep.
He's gonna look at it.
Take the armor off, and that easily comes off. You start to peel the sodden padding, your jacket off, and it actually sticks, and you're like, uh-oh. You have to kind of like very gently peel it off like a plaster, and it's kind of painful, and the shallow cut you had received is puffy and swollen.
No.
And
He kind of...
rubbed kind of like a pinky white from all of the moving and the running you've been doing today.
He definitely does that like hiss, you know, of like, as he unpeels it or sees the damage done.
I feel like there's like a gentle rumble in your chest as you kind of like half croak.
Yeah.
No.
He just says, I suppose it's very easy to get lost in your objective and what is to come and forget all about the present. I should ask Pipistrel to find some healing herbs for this. Maybe we can get a little buffer between this and my padding. All right. It's no shame for a knight to ask for help. And he's gonna kind of straighten up a little bit. And I think first, just to give it a little chance to breathe, he's gonna just kind of watch the padding again and make sure that it's nice and soaked.
Mhm.
But I think as he's kind of, it's not going to take like too long because I don't imagine that any blood is too far in. But he will then, after some time, kind of holding his breastplate in one hand and the padding kind of draped over another arm, kind of just I want to say bare chested, but he's just a toad, so just more toad like than normal.
Yeah, bare-toaded.
Bare-toaded. He's gonna walk up back to Lutzen and Pipistrel. And I think he's gonna kind of look at them and he's concealing, the wound isn't like super visible from where he's standing right now. But he says, if it's not much to ask, and I ask for this humbly and with some humility, could we take a slightly longer break?
Oh, Balthy. Of course. Of course.
It seems that the wound that I have sustained in our scuffle has not taken too kindly to our pace. I really did want to make it to Lalas Dock at any cost, and Lutzen, I'm sorry that I was a little snappy earlier. I just, sometimes when I set my mind on an objective, I just want to see it through at any cost. And it seems that this time around, the cost was to me. Pipistrel, if you would be so kind, if you remember any of those plants that kind Stitcher Hiccup told you about, and that line finder Flynn informed you about as well, do you think you could take a fly about and see if you can find anything that could ease this a bit? And then when I'm a little more in order, I think that I will be much better to finish this last stretch of the journey.
You see Lutzen's ears kind of perk up, and he kind of goes, oh, and he'll dig through his pack, and I still have some of this poultice left from what the mole gave me. It might be able to help a little bit.
Oh, are you sure though? I think you should still be using it to help your wounds. I don't want to take something like this. Well, I mean, your injuries were much worse than mine. Mine is really just an injury of negligence more than anything.
Look, if this will speed us up, it's worthy to use it. We'll have time to find things later.
Are you sure, Lutzen? I mean, this is very precious stuff.
He'll just kind of take the little container and just kind of thrust it towards Balthazar and just kind of nod. It's fine. Please, just use some. We need you fit and healthy.
Balthazar just nods kind of firmly, and will take the container and start kind of applying the ointment.
It stings and it smells, but you're able to apply the ointment all over the wound. The tub is not used up, but it is looking a bit low. Just so you know.
Yeah. We can take some time and top it up later.
I think Pip is she's sort of looking at Balthazar and is with that kind of soft expression when you really care about somebody and you see when you see someone who you care about who's been pushing themselves way too hard, and just that kind of moment where you feel nothing but sympathy for them and you just want to help them. So she kind of assessing Balthazar as being the kind of prideful, not prideful, that's not the right word, but he's
proud.
He's
proud.
He is sort of
Righteous, maybe?
Yeah, he's sort of proud. He's very self-assured, and Pip loves that about him. But she kind of she takes him. She doesn't say anything to him yet, but she takes him by the little toad paw, and sort of sits him down against the rock where Lutzen was sitting, sort of looking at his ankle, and she gives him a little hug, just like a little hug around the neck so she doesn't like hit the wound. And she's just gonna run and see if she can find something because the poultice will help, but she wants to find something that he could like, something for later, for the wound, just in the near vicinity.
Dressing.
Yeah,
thing,
like
so he could.
She's not going to go far. She's just going to quickly have a quick scan around and see if she can find anything that might be useful. Just while Balthazar has like a little break and applies the poultice and that kind of thing.
Make a cunning roll for me.
To
search for things.
Search for things. I don't think I can tag anything. Actually, this is one of the jobs from my scout. I feel like this is kind of pertinent to the situation. Can I tag my thirst to prove? She wants to prove that she can be helpful.
Ooh. Okay, I have enough vibe for this. Yeah, have advantage.
Thank you. Yay. Thank God I needed that advantage.
Oh no.
You just put like nettles on my wound.
Have these, blat.
So you feel a pang of like, not shame, but just sort of like the opposite of nostalgia, like regret, I guess.
Yeah,
as you fly over a patch of the emetic herbs that Flynn explained to you a couple days ago. And you're like, oh god.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not shame, it's not quite regret, it's like nostalgia, but bad.
Yeah.
I
I think what you're thinking of is embarrassment.
There we go. And you fly past as you circle round, and I'm going to say you find, because this is fast, you actually find an old, dead, wild beehive that is abandoned.
Ooh, is there honey in it?
There's no honey. It has been long since fed and foraged on by some, I think it's like being knocked out of a tree by some large creature and licked clean, but there is wax.
Ooh.
You are able to gather a clump of beeswax, which you can add as a carried item to your bag. That on its own is not going to be good, but it could help in the formation of a new poultice. It's like the oily, fatty base that you'd want to mix the herbs into. Definitely.
I think she would come back and like with this because the whole job I'm kind of setting up is scout, but because of everything that happened with Flynn and everything, like the thirst to prove is like, when she succeeds, it's like a massive morale boost for her. She's like, oh, I did the thing. Like, so
and I feel like this is you proving to yourself and to sort of like the idea of Hiccup and Flynn that you're not an idiot. You do know what these herbs do. You can help.
Exactly. And like, so she comes back and like holding this sort of beeswax in her little long fingeries, and it's like, look, it won't help now, but later, if we find more of these herbs, we can make you a new poultice, a proper one to help with this infection. And she's like, she's like showing it to Balthazar and to Ludson.
Well, splendid work, Bristley.
Well done.
Oh god, she's like, don't cry.
I don't think you guys have the time to cry. You have a determination to you.
Yeah.
And with that, you guys are able to get back onto the road.
Yay!
Also, I just want to very quickly say, when Pipistrel kind of gives that hug to, before she sets out to find the beeswax, when she gives the hug to Balthazar and leaves, Balthazar would just kind of like think for a bit and then turn to Lutzen and say, do bats get smaller when they get older?
Oh!
I just feel like Pipistrel was a little smaller there, huh?
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's.
I like the idea that Balthazar is also like, I wonder how small an old bat is. Would they fit in my hand?
Yeah. Imagine they must be adorable, like a tadpole, but a bat.
I think like a stray dandelion fluffs by, and with your low cunning, you go, "Is that an old bat?"
Oh my goodness! That's old timer.
I think Watson just starts giggling. He just kind of is sitting there just giggling away.
That's so cute. Oh, I love.
With your ankle soothed, your wound poulticed and your beeswax fetched, you are able to get back onto the road.
Yay!
It is not going to require a check to get to Lalas Dock. Night falls. The glimmering mirror that has been Lockatrin, that has been shining with the late evening sun, starts to expand around you, perspective-wise, as you just get towards the bank of it. It felt small from a distance, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And Balthazar, you are reminded of your experience of home, because Blueberry Pond is so close to the lock's edge, to its bank, but also of the experience of sailing over it, which is something you had not done before. You'd always been like in the nearby waters and fields, but never like traveling through it. When you came first to Bramble Dam with your whole troop. And the water just starts to expand around you. Lockatrin is huge, and Lalas Dock is small. It is a collection of maybe 10 or 12 wooden and turf structures, as in like cut earth and banks that have been built into for shelters. There is two docks. There are two docks. One is connected to what seems to be some kind of larger, maybe warehouse or shelter, more like a barn than like a warehouse. And the other leads out into the lock itself. There are a couple houses on the edge of town as well, and they all look very... They're not run down, they're just very simple. Quickly built and aged poorly.
Okay.
Do you reckon that this place was built by people or beasts from the Teeth by any chance?
It does certainly have a vibe of, in shambles.
Well, Pip Lutzen, it was I last time who found the tracks of the Iron Beetle. How about we take a look around and see if this time one of you can find them?
Pull your weight.
Yeah, I think Watson and Pip just kind of like exchange a look.
Yes, I was about to say that exact same thing, but like because she's like worried about Balthazar and like the wound. She smiles and just says, "Oh, you're right. You did so well last time, Balthazar. I'm sure Ludson and I will be able to find the tracks this time." She just kind of looks very pointedly at Ludson.
He raises a wee eyebrow.
Yeah. Just like,
well, you use those keen eyes of yours, and I'm sure you will. Unless I do it first, and he's gonna start like looking around.
Oh,
so
so cute.
The waters of the lock, dark blue, expand out around you. Reflected in their stillness is the general, like starry Milky Way above. As you've got like the purple to black, like east side of the sky, and the sunset behind the mountains in the west.
Oh my god, gorgeous.
Wow.
It is maybe like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Yeah. Or no, it's more like 9 or 10. Because it's it's like August, September time now. Like we're past the solstice very much. The air is cooling rapidly. Like a cool breeze comes in. You see blocking out the night ahead are the outlines, the silhouettes of dark clouds.
Oh.
Not like storm clouds, but like as in like there are clouds above that are starting to form slightly. And they occasionally, like cotton wool, like block out the night sky above.
Yeah. Okay.
I think actually, just if I doubt we're like fully splitting apart, but there's just a point where Balthazar will kind of pause and look at this night sky where it's visible, because toads are very keenly interested in the stars. I think he will just kind of take a moment, in spite of himself, in spite of the drive and determination, to look at those stars. And I think just in in his own mind, he once again thanks Lavinia. Like, he kind of absentmindedly brings up his arm to that wound that they had all patched up and helped, or everybody helped him with, and thank Lavinia for once again teaching him a lesson that he forgot.
Oh. Ow. My heart.
Yeah, that's what Balthazar says.
Ow.
Ow. You touch it and you're like, ow, still exists.
Still hurting. It's actually funny that you say that about the moon, because I think Pip as well, it kind of is sort of hopping and flying a little bit and then sort of going down to the ground and scratching around and looking for tracks and things. Within, like, not too far away from everybody, so she can still hear them. So that they're close. But she's a bat, and this is the first time that she's been up at nighttime since that very terrifying night that she went to try and talk to the wolf, or spy on the wolf, even, I should say.
Oh my god!
Right?
Yeah.
So she kind of while she's searching, she takes a little moment to do a little bat thing, which was like, because we've established there's no religions within Beast Fables, but to thank the moon for kind of being a presence and keeping her safe, because that's how bats think. It's a sort of, the moon is a comfort to them, that kind of thing. So she's she's quite
it's nice
happy
to see
now.
it again, having not seen it for a long time.
Exactly.
So,
she's really happy to see the moon again.
Sorry, the moon is out? I think I missed that part.
Well, I didn't say it was out, but the moon is there. I'd say the moon is out. It's maybe like a thin slither right now.
Yeah.
Can Balthazar just talk with Viscera for a moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, before we start that, Lutzen, what are you doing?
Lutzen is just like nose to the ground, ready to work. The nighttime is his time to work. So he's scurrying around.
Okay. So I'm gonna have a little bit with Lutzen, and then we're gonna go back to that conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay. So Lutzen, you're ready to work. How are you trying to find the tracks of Chipper?
So I think he is just kind of surveying the ground, just getting a feel for what is around. He'll be kind of scurrying kind of back and forth, just almost like scanning the ground. Obviously, I'll maybe look down like the more trodden path first, but we'll just be looking around, just seeing if there's any plants have been crushed, anything that would indicate the tracks or footsteps, if there's softer ground that it's more likely to leave a marking in.
So, this sounds like cunning. It's awareness of your surroundings. You have disadvantage. It is night or about to be night, and you cannot see much.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything to tag or use in this situation?
I think I'm going to use my eye for detail, tagging that from the journeyman engineer, and just he knows what he's looking for. He would know where it's more likely to leave markings, where it's most likely to, how it would leave a trail and where. He built it. He knows the shape of it. He's very in tune with the device.
I want you to make that's a cunning roll straight.
Okay. That is a success.
A success. You are leading on instinct. The ground here is hard and baked, straight right up to the riverbank. There are no marks in the ground that are distinct of the beetle in the same way that you had that sort of stabbing motion where it walked through the river at Bramble Fork. So you follow where you think it would go. You start to head into Lalas Dock proper. Most of the buildings have maybe a single window kind of illuminated. Maybe there's a curtain in the way and there's a candle lit. Many are dark. Describe what it's like going into a sleeping town.
Ooh. I think he probably doesn't really realize that he's entered into the town, if that makes sense. I think he's got his eyes just stuck on the ground, following, looking for anything. It's really only until he stumbles upon maybe a slightly more paved road almost, or paved pathing, and seeing that there's candlelight or torchlight.
I think maybe it would be the candlelight of a window. You pass by a window and suddenly your night vision goes because you get a catch of candlelight.
Yeah.
None of the roads here are paved. It is all dirt, all just like trodden
just like
down.
the equivalent of getting caught in like a street lamp.
A headlight, yeah.
Or a headlight, yeah.
So your night vision goes and suddenly everything's dark. You're like, oh god, and then you sort of like pause, blink, and
you're like
move past the window, and then sort of like your night vision returns slowly after a few seconds.
He kind of flats up against the side of a wee building, just like, I've gone too far.
Oh.
I want you to make a. Well, I don't know. I don't think you're necessarily hiding yourself. I think you're more looking for this path. So I want you to make another cunning roll straight to see if you can try and find where this beetle has gone.
Okay.
To look for more tracks.
What could I tag? No, nothing. So I'm just gonna roll. Ooh, okay.
You move deeper into the village, closer towards the actual docks, and you can see that the shore of Loch Katrine is, at least in this part, has large boulders and rocks, to the rat anyway, that sort of like that kind of like shore it up and prevent it from eroding. And so the docks are built not over, but like kind of on top of and through and down these rocks to get into the loch. So you get closer towards the edge of the loch, and you then find just one, but a single pit, like a stab into the road that is very clearly one of the beetle's legs. And you're like, it has been through here. And it takes you towards the main dock, the larger of the two docks. Here you can see that there are grooves in the ground where carts have come through, old things are kind of like, there's a general like double slope, if that makes sense, where like lots of traffic has come through over a long time.
Right, okay.
And you walk onto the dock that is overlooked by a couple buildings, and as you walk to the edge of the dock, you see in the very last fading light of the sun the silhouette of a ship sailing.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
And I can't pick out any real detail of what's on the ship at all.
It's not close enough that you could pick up. It's maybe you're not actually sure how far it is away. You've never really looked at something with a horizon this large. You've just got the open water completely around you.
Yeah, and you'll see right down the loch almost.
Yeah, kind of. And you see, actually, it's interesting because you've got like the silhouette of this dark grey silhouette of the ship disappearing into the blackness of the water in the night. And you then see a few small twinkling stars in the ground of other towns or places with their own fires and lights lighting up the edges, and if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, all kind of blends in.
Yeah. You see lights that would show you that there's somewhere, you see Blueberry Pond, or what you think would be Blueberry Pond, a little twinkling set of lights. You see twinkling lights for a location on your map marked as Ladies Bank, but was crossed out on this map. You see over the flats of Earth, you see a large glow of this place on the map marked as New Dam.
Okay.
And you see a few sparkling lights. Some appear and then disappear.
Yeah.
Along the reach.
Which way is the ship heading, or the raft?
You're not sure because it's disappearing, but it is out here.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Just more. Is it kind of looking more towards Blueberry Pond, or looking more into the depths of the?
It seems to be heading down the loch.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Cool.
It's not crossing the loch.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
beans.
You kind of, I'm going to say, are at the end of the loch. The sun has set. It is now dark. You turn back with this information, and you notice coming out of one of the buildings a beast. I'm going to say it is a vole. They are illuminated from behind as they open a door, and there's like torchlight or like a fire or something like that, and they have a red bandana tied into their hair.
Watson dives to hide behind something.
Well,
Like, if there's
before we do that, we're going to swap to the conversation that our Toad and Bat are having.
No, this is like the inverse of what happened in Rumble 4.
The other way around now. Oh no!
Because I think we need to change the music because I was definitely going for that nice wondrous sky music last time. Because Balthazar would see Balthazar would see Pipistrel. Actually, sorry, before we go into this, because you were talking about darkness and how Lilton has this advantage, I quickly looked up, can toads see the dark? And I quote, "The night vision of frogs and toads appears to be superior to that of all other animals. They have the ability to see color even when it is so dark that humans are not able to see anything at all."
Oh my god.
What?
Which is crazy.
This is
So
some
are you telling me-
mantis seeing sixth color sort of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you trying to tell me that Balthazar has like a galaxy brain moment where his eyes just like dilate and it's just like the universe in his eyes?
He can see everything. Yeah, he doesn't know that it gets dark for other creatures.
Oh my god, Balthazar, Hubble Space Toad.
Yeah, he probably actually did not, up until this point, has never realized that everybody else struggles in the dark. In any case.
Yeah, because that's always been the thing with Pip, is like, she is perfectly fine at night, but not because of her eyes, it's only because of her ears.
Yeah, but he
Because
just
of her
thinks she can see as well as him. And I think Lutzen will be the first, like, at some point it'll become apparent to him that Lutzen doesn't see in the dark or doesn't perceive in the dark like the other two do.
Yeah.
In any case, Balthazar would notice Pipistrel looking up at the sky, and the moon, and say, I imagine for a moon messenger, the moon must be quite the thing. Quite an important figure.
Pip would sort of turn to look at Balthazar, and she'd smile and say, without a doubt, the moon it's very important to me, not just to me, but also to other bats. It's our it's not just my guild crest, and she kind of like pats her little pocket where she's got her messenger badge, but she also, she kind of gestures to the moon. It's like, it's also it is a comfort to our kind. It's our light in the darkness. It protects us, or so some bats say.
The moon is a tiny crescent slither just starting its next cycle.
Yeah, I think that's like, because like that was, again, it's not a religious thing. It's just like a, like a, I don't know how to describe it. Just she kind of just. Yeah, it is a spirituality. She kind of just gestures to it and just says, there, you see the moon is beginning, she's beginning her cycle of beginning again, and we take comfort in that. We take comfort in new beginnings and change, And she kind of she shrugs a little bit and sort of laughs and says, it probably sounds like nonsense, but.
No, not at all. The moon is actually somewhat important to Blueberry Pond as well. See, generations ago, one of our great toad ancestors saw the moon in the lake, and they dove down, and at the bottom of the lake, among the thick muck and dirt kicked up by his swimming, he found a sliver of the moon. And he brought it up to the surface, and there it was. Just a piece of the moon in his little hands. And it was remarkable because through this sliver, you could see yourself as if you were looking at someone else through someone else's eyes.
Pip's eyes are like really wide. It's like, because I don't think we've ever really established it, but I think it's kind of like, we don't have mirrors in
No, we don't.
So like she's sort of completely like, You could see yourself? I've never heard of such a...
Well,
Such a thing.
hang on. The idea of a reflection
Reflection,
does
yeah,
exist.
but like...
And I would
like,
say
whole-
maybe
yeah,
there
yeah.
are like there might be very simple like copper or steel mirrors.
But not with the clarity that you
Yeah.
get with
Yeah.
like a human.
But not
Yeah.
the clarity of like you can see yourself perfectly. So yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be like the idea of a reflection. Whoa.
Like,
no,
oh,
no.
like reflection
Yeah.
we have, but like not
Yeah,
in
yeah.
like this, not in the way that like Balthazar is describing. So she's like,
Mm.
what? Like,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
thinks that's pretty cool.
But Balthazar will say, for all the times that we look up at the moon, through this sliver, you could see her looking at us. It was often
Oh.
a gift from the skies themselves. Unfortunately, this wondrous artifact was lost to us over generations. But when you hear the older toads speak about it, I can just imagine holding it in my hands and seeing myself or the world as the moon would see us. I wonder what she thinks of us, all the way from up there. I bet she's really proud of you, Pipistrel.
Pip sort of she stops what she's like doing. She's still been kind of like she's been listening and looking at the moon and you know, ferreting around for things, but now she stops and she looks at Balthazar and her eyes are big and wide and like teary and she doesn't say anything, but she goes over to Balthazar and she gives him another hug, but like a proper one this time, like a really big hug. And she says, if the moon is proud of me, then she is most definitely proud of you.
I think he just kind of gives like an embarrassed laugh, like oh.
And she says, no, but I mean it, and I am so lucky to have met you, my dear friend. Where would I be without you?
Probably in Odok by now.
she just laughs at that. She just she lets go of him and looks at him and she just laughs and I don't think she has no retort for that. It's just too funny. It's so Balthazar.
No, but he does say that with like earnest humor.
Yeah,
Because, like we did do a huge detour.
Mhm.
absolutely.
But I think he looks around at Lalas Dock and says, of course, for this wondrous side adventure, we also have our wonderful friend Lutzen to thank.
Oh, of course.
You know, when I look out at the enormity of Loch Katrine, I would usually see this sight from Blueberry Pond, or, well, from one of the routes that we take out to a patrol. And, standing at the edge of the shore, you really see or get a glimpse of the enormity of the world. But until I was sent to Bramble Dam, I hadn't really seen much of it. And of all the places in Bristley Woods and all the beasts to meet, yes, I am very glad to have met you, Pipistrel. I'm very glad to have met Lutzen on our way too.
I agree. I definitely agree with you. I could never have imagined an adventure like this, and I could never even comprehend looking at the Bristley Woods from this point of view. I'm so used to looking down on the woods, but it's amazing how much bigger they are when you see it from the perspective of the tiny beasts that we are.
As you guys are looking out over the lake and just sort of thinking about it, taking it in, what do you want to do after you finish whatever business it is that you are on?
Oh.
What are you thinking about for the future?
Oh my goodness, what a question.
Well, I think to kind of bring that into the character conversation, Balthazar will say, you know, when we find Lutzen's beetle and stop whatever it is that is going on here, I feel I should actually stick to that promise of taking you to Odok. Not just to, leave you there. If you would feel you would like to leave there, that would of course be fine, but I should like for you to show me Odok. It sounds like, well, from all your tales, it sounds like the most wondrous place.
Pip smiles and says, "Oh well, whenever we have finished our adventure, I so want to take you and Ludson to the festivals we have for the summer solstice and for the winter solstice. Nothing shows you more of Odok's finest than the festivals. Because I think
do like a good festivity.
Exactly. I feel we spoke earlier of the parties of your toad log and how wonderful
they're
they sounded.
legendary. They're legendary, Pipistrel. Every party creates a new story to tell on the next party. It's amazing.
Well, see, there's something that we must do. We must have a party at a toad log. I'd love to see these famous parties.
Well, I imagine by the time that Manus is done with his squire trading, there will be an incredible party to commemorate their knighthood.
As you talk of parties, you are, I imagine, sort of like the camera's focused on you two looking out over the lake, sort of on a slope above the end, like Lalas Dock. Not like significantly, but just on the edge of Lalas Dock where you kind of left. Lutson has, while you guys were talking and looking at the moon and the stars, sort of slipped off to follow this track. You say, we must have a party. And the camera swings down through Lalas Dock to...
Crash zooms.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, kind of crash zooms to a group of red bandanaed animals getting drunk in a building next to the main the dock. One kicks a door open, goes outside, and starts to pee into the grass.
Charming.
Wow.
Lutson.
Snap his neck quick.
Stab him. Become the rife gnat. Knife rat.
Brian, you cut out ever so slightly for me there. What, did you say something?
I didn't actually say anything.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm trying to find the right playlist. Where is my
okay.
my music? There we
I
go.
just heard like a let's it, and I was like, oh.
There we go.
Just start thinking about how you want to kill this creature.
Yeah. You are in darkness at the edge of this pontoon. You barely have the night vision to kind of make out to distinguish between like the pontoon, dock, and the water below it. And even for someone who is generally quite focused on their tasks, you think the rat hasn't seen you. Or did I say it was a vole? Some kind of rodent.
Vole. Oh, you said a vole.
Vole.
Yeah.
Yeah, vole.
Okay. I think Lutson just kind of like, again, either hides behind like a wee, I'm imagining it's like barrel-y kind of something, some sort of container, or like flats up against the side of a wall. Just low profile, and just holds on for a little second.
I want you to make a willpower roll. It's only been a day since you were in a barn fighting for your life and for your friends' lives. I want you to see if you want to be able to hold your mettle and just hold your breath. You know, like, this is like keeping quiet and like unnoticed, but it's more willpower than it is cunning.
How close is the other creature, is the vole, to me?
Maybe 20, 30 paces away up the dock.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Tag anything.
No.
So before we cut over, you said
I don't
something.
have anything.
You were going to dive into the water.
No, I was just gonna
mentioned-
like dive out of the way, like just to the side of a building, kind of thing. Like,
So you say you're going to dive. You're like, I need to get out of sight, and you just jump into the water.
no, hold on. To be fair, Lotson would not do that given the whole Pike situation.
Trauma. Yeah. Come on.
Like that would be he wouldn't even consider that as like an option, even in a panic.
I can imagine him diving out of the way and like crashing into a barrel.
Yeah,
He just like crashes
making
into
a noise.
a bunch of things. It's just like
But
I gotta
Okay.
be quiet.
if he's gonna jump anywhere, it'd
Okay.
be away from the water for sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy for it to make a noise because either way.
So I think, okay, that's a good solution. Thank you, guys. You jump forward and you knock a barrel, and it goes boom, 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 boom,
Oh no!
and you are now closer to the start of the dock. You're closer to the building with all of these beasts in, and the vole kind of finishes taking a leak and kind of has its head looking over its shoulder, kind of sways a little bit and starts to walk over towards the dock.
Oh no!
Rifling through his pack very quickly and in a panic. What color would the material of his bag of oats be? Is it perchance red?
No, they wouldn't dye a sack like that. It's a rough flax, sort of yellowy white, grey.
Oh,
Lutsen,
Dyes
you
are
have a very
expensive.
natural red dye that you could use in a pinch.
oh no.
If you have a knife.
A knife.
No!
Okay, I think what Watson's going to do is he's going to take the broken gear that he has and just like roll it like out and away, like to distract.
Smart.
Okay, that's gonna be. Describe the action to me.
So he's kind of rifling through his pack, like, oh god, what can I do? What can I do? And he comes across his broken gear that is kind of chunky, it's heavy. He wants to just roll away as if it looks like it's kind of come free from. No, that's not gonna. Fuck.
It could have come free from something, and also this vole is drunk, so it might just be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what's that?" And kind
Yeah.
of wander after it. As a thought.
Yeah, I don't. He's not rolling it like past where Lutzen is hiding. Almost, he's rolling it more towards the vole.
That's
like
a
it-
cunning
it's kind of-
check at disadvantage for me, please. This
Okay,
is
okay.
exceptionally difficult.
Oh no!
Even with outlandish solutions that shouldn't work but do.
This isn't you making a piece of tech, this is you
Yeah.
rolling something.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think it applies.
Okay, it's a success.
You do as well as you can. The gear is broken, so it doesn't roll smoothly. It's sort of like.
Yeah.
Kind of like rolls, bumps, doesn't catch, spins head over heel, and then clatters flat at the start of the dock. The vole kind of walks over and picks it up,
Okay.
and then looks up towards the
would you say-
barrel that it came from.
Oh no! I was gonna say, is it as it was rolling? If it took the vole's distraction, like eyes away, as a distraction, even for like a split second, what someone wants to run out, dash past, and push the vole into the water,
Oh!
and just bolt.
Okay. So that is going to be. This is. I guess. Because this is you kind of an ambush. You can either do cunning or vigor. The vole is going to use its natural strength and kind of like steadiness on its feet to try and resist. This is a contest. You can roll either vigor or cunning. I said strength.
They're both the same for me at the moment because we've
Oh,
got the
okay,
one
then
up
it doesn't
on
matter.
vigor. But I'm just trying to see what I could. Nothing. Not built for this.
And I'm going to say the vole has advantage. It's going to tag lock legs. It's used to not falling over when sailing on ships.
Oh
sea
man.
legs.
Okay.
Pirate.
It rolled a 5.
3. Oh no, wait. Did you say straight?
I don't know
oh,
why
no.
you have advantage.
No, I don't know why you did either. I just pressed it once, so just ignore the second
So
one.
I'm going to go with the complication. You
I was panicked. I
dash
pressed it
out
twice.
and push against the vole, who goes "Ugh," and sort of like staggers 1-2 steps. A foot hovers over the edge of the pontoon and then steadies itself, and it drops the gear whoop, into the water.
Oh God!
The vole lurches, gets its balance, and then turns back towards you.
Could I use my tail?
You said you were going
to dexterous tail to whip it as it's losing its balance, or as it's catching its balance.
I think that would be something that you should have tagged.
Bugger! Okay, yeah, fair.
In the moment, like, it's caught its balance now, but like that contest was it, like, that is the event that happened. You think, damn, I should have whipped it with my tail when it was tripping. You said that you were going to push it and run past, so you can either stay and fight it, or you can run. What do you want to do?
He's just going to bolt. He's all fours, just bolt and go fast.
You do. It's not something difficult, so you just run.
I will take like a slightly diverted path, like off the beaten path. You know, just dive behind a wee building.
Yeah, dive behind a building and try to get away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I don't know what this vole would do. On a 1, 2, or 3, it's gonna chase you. On a 3, on a 4, 5, or 6, it does something else.
Oh.
The vole, with a kind of reedy, high-pitched vole voice, goes, "Oi, oi, hey!" and then starts to scamper after you. This is another contest. You are trying to lose this vole. How are you trying to lose it?
He's kind of dodging in and out of buildings, but he is also going to take a little bit of coal from his pouch of coal, and is going to try and use that to throw at something away from the path to kind of make a disruption, to make it sound like there's something in the other direction that he is. If that makes sense.
Okay,
so kind of diverting paths, and we'll throw a bit of coal to just like, or throw a pebble or something to scatter and make a noise.
So that's a cunning check for me. It's going to roll cunning because it knows this town.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't have any.
Oh, it rolled an 8.
Oh, so did I. Fight me.
So, the rules are, if you roll, the person rolling the higher die wins. If both dice are the same size, you roll again. So we're just going to have to roll again.
No.
Because it technically got a critical success as well, rolling an 8 on an 8.
Yeah, come on, Cunning. No!
Oh, no!
It is tight. And I'm going to say this is where Pipistrel and Balthazar, you actually, I'm going to say it follows you, and it follows you back to where Balthazar and Pipistrel are. You think you've lost it, and you are running up a street, and then like past one building, and then into open grass, and like scratch to this kind of slope where you knew Pipistrel and Balthazar were before.
Yeah.
And as
you see Lupton running out like all fours, like
like
scurrying,
scampering,
then pouncing, jumping over, and then pouncing, and in kind of zigzags, just jumpy, jump, all fours, panic on his face. If he's sweating, he'd be sweating.
Out of like a nearby, I think it's like a log pile. This vole jumps and then sort of like catches you in the side. It's taken a shortcut and gotten ahead of you, and then it slams into the side of you. You stumble, like head over heels. The vole is like scrambling, like, why are you running? What did you do? Why'd you push me? You take a bigger damage because it kind of crashes into you. The vole doesn't...
Does Pip hear this? If they're close, would she hear
yeah,
it?
yeah, of course. Yeah, you see this come out in front of you. The vole does not know that Pip and Balthi are there.
Okay.
Balthi sees them with his superior amphibian eyes.
Caught in 4K.
Oh my god. After like what was like a nice like little chat moment with Pip and Balthazar, but it's nighttime, heightened senses. Like she's got that little hook knife from before. She gets that out, but she gestures to Balthazar. She's like shh, like puts a little finger up to her mouth, because I don't think the vole has noticed that they are there yet.
I would like to say the hook knife isn't little, just so you know. It's like a two-handed thing. It's for harvest. It's like a small sickle scythe. It's for you, especially because you're a bat. It's difficult to use one-handed.
Okay, well then
I will just say that Balthazar will, like, as he says, Baby Tyrrell, that fool in the red bandana with 25,000 hairs on it and 5 whiskers is attacking Watson. I can clearly see its belt. It is brown with a slight whiter undertone, and I can see that it has a slightly bristled back, and that
it's sort of like
oh no!
It's sort of like that lock-on in like Fallout, where it's like 73% chance of hitting the head, 26% chance of hitting the arm.
Yeah. Var, I hope this is okay, but like, okay, so before, like, so Pip literally, like, she puts her hook knife down very quickly and literally just runs over to Balthazar and puts both of her hands over his mouth.
Yeah, no worries. I just really wanted to to fucking glow my superior amphibian eyes.
Oh, no.
We're good though, we're good.
I feel like maybe like that little like 2 seconds is like, shh, I hear something, says Pip, and then Balthazar's like, can you not see that Lutzen is getting attacked? Like, this is happening right in front of you.
And then Pip is like, like runs over to him.
I'm gonna say that's your response, as you say, "Oh, Lutzen's in danger." Lutzen, this vole is on top of you, and it is kind of like batting you with its paws, and also yelling like, "Why did you push me? Why are you trying to push me? Who are you? What's going on?" And it's like not letting you answer. It's just smacking you with its paws.
Oh no! Oh, not having that.
Okay.
What do you do?
He's kind of just like, Lutzen will just kind of try and fake and pretend and just say, I was just hungry and I stumbled upon here and I just want to get some food. I was trying to steal something. I'm sorry, I panicked.
And the vole is just gonna keep hitting you. This is like the very small just like
pats. But...
short. No. I mean, like, this is a short period of time, so it's not like it's spending like the next 10 minutes beating you up. It's just like it just keeps hitting you. So I want you to make a. It's trying to hit you. What are you trying to do to protect yourself?
He's kind of curled up, like his arms are like in front of his face. He's kind of tucked his little nose in. He's kind of balled up as much as he can. But yeah.
No, Dudson. I feel like this would be a really good time. Like, if Pippa's because she won't be able to. Clearly, she won't be able to see what is going on as well as Balthazar can. She'll be able to hear the vole quite clearly. Go, like, who are you? What are you doing? Like that kind of thing. So she would take her hands like off Balthazar's mouth and she would just say to him like quickly, it's like, Balthazar, I need you to be quiet. We need to sneak up on this vole, so he doesn't know that we're here yet. We could help.
All right, assassination mission. Also, that vole has a red bandana. He's part of the gang.
Babe was like, oh, great, okay.
So, Lutzen, I want you to make a cunning roll for me. You're trying to be smart about how you kind of hide the sensitive parts of your body. The vole is going to make a vigor roll to just keep hitting you.
Okay.
How rude.
Can I? Yeah, okay. Fuck.
Oh my god.
Bugger.
Oh no!
Oh my god, double hijinks?
No!
These are the rules though. If you roll the same result, the animal with the higher dice wins. You have a D8 versus a D6. You technically win. You protect yourself.
At what cost?
The hijinks don't exist in a contest.
Okay.
So it's sort of like batting at you, but it kind of gets off of you and sort of like scuffs dirt at you. You don't actually get hurt. You just feel kind of like the shame of it, as you kind of are playing dead. Well, actually, no, I don't think you feel the shame. You intended to play dead, so this is in your head. You're like, it's working. I'm okay.
Okay.
And the vole says, "Get out of here, you vermin!" You kind of like sort of like, kind of half drunkenly like, starts backing away from you towards Lalas Dock.
Sorry, this is Fraser thinking.
So that's what happens. Balthazar and Pipster, what are you doing?
So is the vole actually like leaving now?
Sort of. It's sort of like kicked. It's sort of like it's kicked Lutzen and is like, you stay down. Is like walking off. Like it doesn't think there's any danger. It thinks it's won.
So Lutzen will kind of like not dive towards it, but we'll kind of rush towards it and kind of go to his knees, and we'll just start begging it for food.
Oh. Ooh.
So he's gonna kind of like jump for it and be like, please, I'm so hungry. I've been traveling for days, and Bramble Fork was ruined, and everywhere's dry, and please, can I just have some food? It's all I'm needing. Please.
I want you to make a willpower roll. You're trying to appeal to this beast's empathy. You have disadvantage because it has no empathy.
I have a question for after the roll.
Okay.
Okay.
Your vice virtue question.
My vice virtue question.
So you got a hijinks. Oh no! You have disadvantage.
Oh, disadvantage. Oh,
yes.
Sorry, I forgot.
Because it's very difficult. Oh,
Yep.
yes, success. Okay.
Thank God.
So, Lanta, what's your question?
So this is one of the red bandana animals, and we're at Lalas Dock. So, does this vole know who was on that ship and where it was going?
I'm just gonna cross out your thing. You have used your question. So, to frame it, you have a question about an action. If I were to ask this vole about who was on the ship, would it know?
Yes.
Is how I'd frame it. And the answer is, yes. It stands to reason that, with all of the knowledge that you know, that someone with a red bandana would know about who was on the ship. In fact, you think that if it's not going to be easy to get a big metal beetle onto a ship, this vole probably helped.
Oh, okay. I asked.
Now we go back to Lutzen.
Okay, okay.
Lutzen, you on your knees go up and beg, and the vole kind of turns around and kicks more dirt at you and says, "Piss off! You're nothing. Useless." He kind of looks at you and goes like, "I'm half your size and I can take you.
Okay.
Get off."
How rude.
How do you want to respond?
Lutzen just wanted to get closer to the vole.
You are like near the vole.
Yeah, he's gonna jump forwards now, grabbing the bendy metal from his bag and try and secure around the vole in a kind of like restraint.
Sort of like a makeshift handcuff.
Like a makeshift, well, yeah, either makeshift handcuff or kind of just like almost like across the chest, like under the chin, like Lutzen is behind it and is kind of pulling it back, if that makes sense.
Oh my God! Wait, so you're
so
like kind of like the stranglehold, but not so like. Just
So-
like.
You can either try to not choke, essentially. You could try to choke this vole, or you could try to bind it. They are two different things.
Okay. We didn't establish like how bendy the metal is necessarily. Like.
Bendy enough for whatever you want to do.
Okay, that's fine. I will try and restrain it, just so it's not going to get away.
Yeah,
And
I feel
tell.
like it's sort of like the bendy piece of metal is like a strip of aluminium. Like, it's an old aluminium strip rotted out of a face mask. It's one of those bendy pieces for like a nose piece.
Okay.
Long abandoned. And it's got like a slightly plastic wrapping to it, or like a slight coating that made it preserve all these years. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you trying to bind it, or are you trying to essentially choke or garrote it?
He's not going down that path again. He's just trying to like restrain it and bind it, basically.
Okay, restrain it. That is going to be a cunning roll because you're using your tool. It is aware of you. It's not gonna have. You're not gonna get advantage on the roll by surprising it. Like it's not surprised at this point, and it's going to try and dodge out of the way. It's gonna roll cunning.
Can I use my outlandish solution for advantage?
Yes, but only if Lutzen starts to internalize that violence can solve problems.
When necessary, I guess, if it's the road's top menacing.
Ooh.
And harking back to what Balthazar said, that it's not, it's a beast world. He hears that in his head, and he's just like, if these beasts catch wind of us infiltrating, it's not going to be good.
That is going to be advantage. It has rolled a 4.
Oh my goodness.
I rolled a 5 success.
This is very close.
Bloodlust.
You, it starts to walk away, Do you bind the arms or the legs?
Legs.
Okay. You kind of like whip the bendy piece around, like the kind of the reverse bend of like the knee leg joint, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You sweep, and then as you sweep, twist it a couple times like a bread tie. And it securely wraps. The vol goes, whoa! And sort of like pitches forward and smacks onto the ground in front, and then starts yelling, "What are you doing? I'm gonna get you!"
Okay, and then I'm gonna take the ivy stripped rope that I have, and I'm going to tie its arms like kind of behind it.
Oh my god!
Okay. It has grabbed a knife from its belt.
Oh, fuck! I didn't think about that.
Oh no!
Its arms are free. It starts to kind of grabs the knife and turns onto its back. It tries to like move its legs, but finds that it just can't. Like it's not encountered this sort of restraint before, and starts to like slash wildly at you with the knife. So you are going to go and try and tie it up. Lutzen and Balthazar, I'm kind of like, you've had enough time to sort of like process what's going on and start reacting. What are you guys doing?
Should have gone for the arms.
I think Pip is going to.
Pip, I can clearly see that Lutzen has bound its legs and is now trying to bind its what is it? Its arms.
His arms, yeah.
And it has a knife, and the knife is about 3 inches tall, and it has an engraving of grass on its handle.
The knife is actually made from a sharp piece of metal with some kind of like wood for a handle, like a piece of low quality wood that it's just kind of been like knocked slash stuck into. It looks worn smooth. The handle anyway. It looks smooth with use. It looks very shoddily made.
Oh.
But yet it has this engraving, and it says on the side, "For dear Archie, for your 8th birthday from Mom and Dad."
Please don't be a pirate. We love you, whatever you do. You are cherished.
You're a pirate. In which case, you are terrible and irredeemable, and it would be fine if a rat killed you.
But not a toad.
It's a very strange thing to engrave.
Okay, so
anyway.
On a slightly more serious note, do you actually talk to each other?
I think I don't know. I think what Pip is thinking is that she's gonna jump. Well, not jump, but she's gonna run, or to the best of her ability, run out of the bush, and she is gonna grab the like the other arm of this vole, because it won't be expecting her, and help Lutzen like tie this vole up.
So I'm gonna say you're helping Lutzen. Lutzen, you have advantage on trying to tie up the vole. Out of nowhere, Pipistrel appears out of the darkness and starts to hold down, or try to hold down, the vole. I want you to make a cunning roll because you're using your tools. It's going to make a vigor roll.
Okay.
So you definitely beat it. I'm going to say, Pipistrel, actually, you tear the knife out of its hands. It's not expecting you, and that allows you, Lutzen, to like quickly bind the vole up. And I'm going to say you also you tie its arms together and you tie its mouth shut.
Yeah, I want it to like not be talking.
To stop it from like squealing. Balthazar, you sort of walk up alongside the three of them, and you are standing over this vole that is now.
So Balthazar won't be. He's gonna walk up and super casually, just pick it up on his shoulder, and say, "We best be out of the streets," and we'll kind of want to go in a direction where we can be like in some grass or something.
So you scan around. I want you, Balthazar, to make a cunning roll for awareness of your surroundings.
Can I?
Wait. No, I don't have an auto other.
No.
I did.
Aspiring Mud Fury, as Lutzen or Fraser wrote, Black Ops, Black Mud Ops.
Oh.
He's fully committed to this LARP.
Yep. I would like you to roll advantage then, but still cunning.
Also, his superior sight in the darkness allows him to see everything. Fuck yeah!
Yes! Yes!
You initially start to turn around to go into the grass, and you think, actually, that's really exposed. You turn and look over your shoulder, and you see that there is that kind of barn-like building I described that's by the second dock. You don't see any lights inside. You think, that looks empty. You quickly, with the others...
through the walls.
You hike over to the hut with this sort of like... It's sort of like bucking against you, but you've got a good firm hold on it, on the vol. You duck inside this barn, and you see the shell... Well, actually, you don't see anything. You, Balthazar, see, the others don't. You duck inside. It is a ship shed. I wouldn't say like a shipyard shed, because there's no yard, but it is like a shed in which a ship is kept. There is a ship in here, the shell of it, without a mast, propped up as if repair work is being done on it. And it is empty. There is no one around. There are just tools everywhere.
Okay.
You set the vol down onto a bench, I'm going to say, that's just lying there. And that, as you three stand over this vol in the darkness, that is where we're going to leave this session.
Oh! We are going to interrogate this vol! Also, like, just as an aside, I'm stealing that knife from the vol.
Oh, yeah, Lutton needs a new tool.
Yes,
he doesn't have any weapon whatsoever.
I need a pip-sized weapon.
We'll swap.
Yes.
The Lutzicle.
So, we're going to have a quick review of how you acted this session.
Absolute vice. Absolute vice. Nothing but vice.
I love this.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to stay here, but I'm just going to go back and grab the card. Hang on.
That's the thing. Vice doesn't need to be bad, and virtue doesn't mean to be good.
This is true, but it was very spontaneous actions.
Simply...
There was no hesitance of thinking things
Well,
through.
for example, with work and sloth, you would be work, which is considered a virtue.
True.
Because you were acting, maneuvering.
Oh, and... Oh, I'm drawing on it. Whoops. Hang on.
Well, I'm actually going to use my own cards that just arrived in the
I'm going to say,
as we
this
were playing.
is the funny thing. You say work and sloth. Guess what the theme of this week's scene was?
No way.
Work,
No
sloth,
way.
and diligence.
Wow. Wow.
That's hilarious.
That's really good.
Or I guess, sorry, it's diligence and sloth. The theme is work, right? That's how it works.
The tags for diligence are assist, create, evaluate, explore, facilitate, guide, invest, push, and maneuver. And then the tags for sloth are consider, ease, expedite, pause, ponder, reflect, relax, slow, unwind, and wait. So starting with Lanta, I think, this time. How do you feel Pipistrel acted?
Okay. I feel as though because this was quite a kind of like pick up, go kind of episode. I actually think that Pip may have just crawled her little bat body into virtue this time, because I think she was using her, like, to the best of her ability, she was using her messenger role. She was flying ahead. She was being a marker. She was going back and helping the others when they were struggling. Going and finding the beeswax to help make poultices for Balthazar. Having a moment to reflect and talk, with her dear friend and things. I feel like, if going, looking at everything, I think she did assist. I think at points, she was definitely exploring. I think she was guiding. I think we have a virtuous Pip this time.
Cool. I would agree. I think you're definitely helping, and that was the vibe you're going for. So you are virtuous, you have one auto other.
Yay!
Lutzen, how do you think you acted? And as a reminder, virtue is about taking in information and acting on it, taking a step back. Vice is about being in the moment and leading towards quick, immediate solutions and sort of like effects.
Yeah, I think that's more why I'm leaning towards the vice, but I don't know if that necessarily works with the sloth in this kind of case.
So let's think about the tags. Ease, expedite, pause. You definitely had to take some breaks this session.
Well, yeah, earlier on in the kind of travel, he was kind of taking his time, and yeah, again, took that extra long break in finding things and got distracted.
And I feel like in terms of like slowing towards the goal, a relaxed approach to your need to go, not saying, oh, well, actually, I just abandoned finding anything instead. Like, there were, I think maybe, like, vice is something you leaned in towards. And then maybe when you were attacking this, like, what were you thinking when you were attacking this vol? What was going through your head?
It was just kind of going through of, you need, like, if this vol gets to the rest of them, we're in big trouble. Like, we can't be seen, we can't be, we can't know, or they can't know we're here yet. It was much more like a self-preservation, beast eat beast. Not taking out the mole, or the vole even, but just preventing it from getting worse.
Do you think that Lutzen would have killed the vole?
Oh God!
If he had to?
I don't think so. I think he would have. Well, if I don't think he has anything to be able to kill it with. He definitely wouldn't be able to do it with his own like strength, of which there is none.
Drowned it.
Oh God! I hope not.
No, I think he would have maimed it or tried to knock it out, but I don't think he would have killed it.
Okay, it's good to know. I think you're Vice. I think you are definitely auto self. You were very much like immediate effect, so gathering the berries, taking that more slow approach, but also with this vol, easing and expediting, you wanted the situation to be over as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like you didn't let the vol go back to the others. You were like, no, we're doing this now, and that feels like a virtue response.
Yeah.
Vice even, sorry. And then Balthazar, how do you think you acted?
I think Balthazar might be neutral because he both was diligent. He was pushing himself, but then he had the moment of reflection and slowing and unwinding after realizing that he pushed himself too far, and also in his conversation with Tyrrell. So I think he was I think more diligent, but because of the consequences of diligence, he had to take a step back and turn to sloth. So yeah, I think he was dipping his toes in both, for better or for worse.
Yeah, like he got a taste of both perspectives. Like if he was fully diligent, I think Balthazar would have pushed through and not told anything, not bandaged or taken that pause for the wound. That's where you saw the benefit of sloth.
Yes, yeah, of taking care of,
asking your friends for help.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I think, he gets the question.
Yeah.
For next week.
Okay, we've got an interesting spread of a virtue, a vice, and a balance, a neutral. Okay, so I think this is going to be for an exciting session. You have got one captured vol pirate. You have got a ship. And I think, I'm just going to say, for some extra spice, you notice that there is a hole in the side of the ship, because you've got great eyesight, Balthazar. There is a hole that was being patched.
Ooh.
It is and it's not a ship, it is like the equivalent of like a rowboat to animals. It's like a large rowboat.
So what you're saying is, if a inventive individual could patch up this hull, we could use this boat.
Maybe.
Very interesting.
Interesting.
C'est la intrigue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
Well, then.
That
French, but
is
One
for
might
next
say
session.
we have a course charted for next week.
So, join us next Wednesday at 12:30 British summertime, because we're now in BST again.
We are.
For some more Beast
And
Fables.
BST Beast for short.
I am Brian.
Beast time.
I've narrated
Beast time.
today's adventure. I use he, him pronouns. I run Dungeons on a Dime. You can find all of my cool stuff at doad.co.uk. That is Dungeons on a Dime, the official store website. Vice and Virtue, the system we have been using for these exciting encounters, is out. You could actually buy the book. I'm in the middle of fulfilling the Kickstarter. It exists. It's cool. And you should buy it. There we go. It's on Roll20. You can use the deck. You can see all the cool fortunes. The curdled prompt was from the injury spread. I think this is fun for you guys to know about. So the prompt
that's why I
for
got an
curdled
injury.
is a wound infects a character's blood, manifesting indirect symptoms. The carrier can spread this infection to those around them without appearing to be the source. How does it spread, and what symptoms does it create? And because you were like tagging like, oh, I'm really diligent with like taking care of equipment, I was like, and you rolled like a critical success, I think. I was like, actually you do. You wash your hands. You wouldn't pass this on. You wouldn't like pass an infection through food or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
So yeah, good on you for your little squire skills.
Little squire skills.
Yes. Speaking of squire skills, do you want to reintroduce yourself? Ver, please.
Most certainly. PBCPFs, everybody. I have been player. My name is Ver. Once again, you can find me on social media at Verface on Twitter, Sticks and Sharks at Tumblr, and if you'd like to support me on Patreon, you are more than welcome to, and you can find me on Patreon at Verface.
Amazing.
Brian, Atlanta, and Fraser, thank you very much for this delightful game. Y'all are awesome. Back to you, Brian.
And I go back to Atlanta. I pass it. Hot potato.
Oh.
Ping pong.
Hello, I am a pile of ash. I'm also player 2. I'm also Atlanta. I've also been Pipistrel. I am many things. I am an enigma. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me over at Alpaca Scribbles on Twitter, alpaca_scribbles on Instagram. Do I have anything to plug? Kind of. I have sort of commissions open. I have slots available. Please check them out. They're my pinned tweet on Twitter, so do have a little look-see if you feel like it. To my wonderful friends, thank you so much for today. This was a really fun. I like sessions like this. I like these kind of fast-paced, I could do the thing kind of sessions, Brian. So that was really fun. And I every session we get to play where we get to have like little role play moments with all the characters makes me really happy. So that was really fun. And I'm so excited for next week. Ooh.
Can't wait for Lutz to torture this.
Oh my god, don't.
Oh god.
I hate this direction.
Realize
It's just
that
what's
Gang
happening.
violates the
Is the
Geneva
answer.
Convention.
Oh no.
Nice.
And speaking of our friendly torturer rat, Lutz, do you want to take us out?
Hello, I'm your disaster boy playing the disaster rat, Fraser. I go by he, him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and things under the alias of Lost Astronaut. I also have a Patreon that you can support me on. There we go. It's patreon.com/lostastronaut. Is that everything? Yeah, I think that's kind of it. Thank you everybody for playing and for being here, and you're all wonderful people and wonderful human creatures. On to next week, where who knows what the hell's going to happen.
All right.
High
well, we will see
sea
you then.
hijinks.
And we'll see if you make it onto the water. Until then, goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
As always, Ver got the last laugh.